This short video tutorial will take you through South Lanarkshire Council's application process for free school meals for your child. You should have already received a link that will bring you directly to this page, but if you haven't, you can get to this page by going to South Lanarkshire Council's website. This will bring you to their homepage, and then in their search bar you can type in free school meals. That will bring you to this page also. The first important thing to note is that if you are already in receipt of housing benefit or council tax reduction from South Lanarkshire Council, you do not need to apply. They will already be issuing you with free school meals. The eligibility criteria is the next step. So for anyone who is applying, the important criteria that you need to take into account. So if you have a child in South Lanarkshire Council, they're entitled to free school meals if you receive any of the following benefits. So please do take the time to read through this and see if it's applicable to you and that you do meet the criteria, as if you don't meet the criteria, it will prevent you from completing the application form, so there's no point in proceeding. How to apply. So if you are receiving working tax credit and or child tax credit or universal credit, you do need to attach a copy of your tax credit award notice, the TC602, or your latest universal credit online statement. You can either attach a scan or a photograph to the online application, which is what we're going to be going through, or you can send it in the post, and here is the address there if you want to take a note of that now. Your copies will not be returned, so don't send original copies. But this could save you approximately £323 throughout the academic year, so it's definitely beneficial applying. Now, if you're in receipt of the housing benefit and council tax reduction, you do not need to complete this application form. So as mentioned above, you don't need to complete this application form, but single person discount does not count as council tax reduction, so do be aware of that. And now what we'll do is we will begin with the application process. So, clothing grant and free school meals application. So if you have a child attending our South Lanarkshire school, you can receive certain benefits. So there's information here to check you're eligible to apply. So that's what we were looking at there before. And you may be asked to upload evidence. So we mentioned that. And that could be a scan or a photo, or you can send it in by post. So by clicking begin this form, you're confirming that you've read all the school clothing grants and or free school meals pages. So it is important that you do read that information really carefully before you progress with the application form. And then we'll begin the form. So first thing is your privacy statement. So it's important that you read this, you are aware of the information, and if you want to read more details on this, you can look at the privacy notice from South Lanarkshire Council. And then we just click next. So housing benefit or council tax reduction. Please note single person discount on your council tax is not classified as a council tax reduction. Things that we've already mentioned. So are you a South Lanarkshire Council and receipt of benefit or council tax reduction? If you are, you don't need to apply. You'll automatically get this, but we're going to say no at this point. Are you in receipt of income support, job seekers allowance, employment support allowance, one of any of these? We're going to say yes here. If you said no to all of these supports, this was the ones in the criteria. It'll bring you through this application and it'll just say, unfortunately, you will not be eligible. So do make sure that you have read the criteria first. So we're going to say at this point, yes. Then what it's going to ask us to do is complete our basic information. So we've got our name, our national insurance number, full name of partner, if applicable, and your partner's national insurance number, if applicable, phone number, and email address. So you complete all this information and then we press next. This then brings us to the next page where it's asking us to find our address. So by entering your postcode, it'll allow you to look up your address and select your address, and then you just press next to get to the next page. Now it's asking for your child's details. So you must enter your child's first name, last name, date of birth, their sex, school attended, school location, and if you will need to add another child, then you can, and add another child to this application. So that is where you can add another child. Once you've completed that, you press next and I'll bring you to the next page. Thing to note is the school attended is actually going to be St. John Ogilvie High School. Don't enter any primary schools that this child is currently at. This will be for the new school term. So it'll be St. John Ogilvie High School. Then you can, once you've completed all of this, proceed to the next page. If you had selected to add another child, you will be brought to that page again where you just complete their details. And then it will bring you to this page here where it's the clothing grant, free school meals application, and it's the evidence that you'll need to process your claim. So you'll need to provide proof. So you can either upload a scan, a PDF, or the photo of the relevant documentation. So you can upload up to 4 pieces of evidence online for this application. So if it's a tax credit award, please ensure that the pages you upload contain the following information: the name and address, household income, and any children's details. Universal credit evidence, your decision letter or statement showing income from your online journal. Or the other option is a housing benefit council tax reduction evidence. It's your award letter. So these are the 3 pieces of evidence that they will accept. The next screen allows us to actually upload this evidence, okay? So you would choose a file, either from your phone, if you're doing this through your phone. If it's a picture, you choose from gallery, or if it's a computer or an iPad or a laptop, you're going to choose it from your desktop or a folder. And you upload your pieces of evidence. If you want to add in more evidence, you just select yes, and you can add in those files. This will then bring us to the payment screen. So payment will be made by backs into your bank account. So you must ensure that you enter the correct sort code and account number, as that was where the money will be paid into. So you'll enter the name of the account holder, the name of the bank, the branch sort code, and the bank account number. Sort code is our 6-digit number, and the bank account number is the 8-digit number. So once you enter all your details in here, you'll just press next to be brought to the next slide. An important thing to note when you are putting in your bank details is that it won't check with your bank. It is making sure that you have put them in correctly, because it doesn't do that final check that some direct debit processes do. So please do make sure that you take the time to double check that you have entered your bank details correctly. And finally, it brings us to your declaration. So your declaration that the information provided is by you is accurate. So you're just going to read through this. There's no false statements, and that you'll notify of any changes in circumstances that entitle you to free school meals when applicable. So you check the form box to confirm that you've read the declaration statement, and then it will bring us to the next page. The next page is just the final page where it summarizes your whole application and gives you a chance to look over it and make sure you're happy with all the information and the details before you submit your application form to the council. This brings us to the end of the application form for free school meals for your child. If you have any questions or have had any problems with your application, please do get in touch with me and I will be happy to help with any questions that you might have. My contact details will appear now on the next screen, so please do take a note of them so that when you're completing your application form, you can contact me if you need to.